Welcome to the Leslie Hawkins podcast. Each week, my guest and I discuss one pivotal moment in their life, what they learned from it, and their words of wisdom. She built a dream life, a beautiful home, 3 gorgeous daughters, a marriage that checked all the boxes. But inside, something didn't fit. There was a quiet whisper she couldn't ignore. A growing realization that nothing would ever be enough for her until she was enough for herself. No house, no role, no relationship could fill a space that required her own self-worth. Listening to that voice meant making a gut-wrenching decision, walking away from her marriage and stepping into the unknown. What followed was the deep, uncomfortable work of untangling who she was from who she had been trying to be and asking what truly fulfilled her. This is a conversation about identity, courage, and what it takes to choose alignment over optics, even when the cost is high. Welcome to the Leslie Hawkins podcast. I am so grateful that you are here with us today. Please join me in welcoming today's guest, Leisse Wilcox. So Leisse is a thought leadership architect. She is an award-winning keynote speaker and acclaimed author. So happy to have you here. Thank you. We've been trying to have this conversation for a while, but Mother Nature's got their own plans. So glad that you're here actually in person.
I am more than over the moon here right now. So thank you.
Great. That's amazing. So you and I met it was like nearly a year ago at a Be Uninterrupted event. And it was a women's event. It was like the kickoff to the year. It was a boot camp. And that's when I saw you speak for the first time. And your story is so good. And you were so good at speaking. So I've been anxious to have you join this conversation. So thank you.
Thank you.
So this podcast is all built on one question, which is, what is one pivotal moment in your life? And the reason that is the question is because, first of all, it's quite universal. We've all got so many pivots, some good, some not as good, some we can control, some are outside of our control and sort of imposed on us. But what I've learned going through multiple pivots in my life and hearing other stories is that the sense of loneliness that you can feel when you're going through some pivots changes when you actually start talking about it. And you realize that there's an entire community of people out there who have been there, done that, and have lived to tell the story. And so I wanted to create a platform for people to hear from amazing people like yourself and also hear their stories and learn from what they have learned and just hear from some incredible people.
What an ingenious concept.
It's
just takes the shame
simple.
out of that,
Yes.
right?
Yes, exactly. So let's jump right in.
Okay.
And what would be one pivotal moment in your life?
Yeah, that's the issue is like, how do you pick one?
I know. You've lived a good life when you've got multiple.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I've heard that if you haven't been sued by the time you're 40, like you haven't made it. Fortunately, I have not been sued yet.
Thank goodness. Okay.
Yeah. But I have had many a pivot.
Okay.
But in thinking about and preparing for this conversation, I really think the most significant pivot was my first divorce.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So take us back to what life was like before that all happened.
Oof. So the story that I like to tell about it, because I think it illustrates it the best, is that you got to imagine I've started a young family in Toronto and all of a sudden Toronto just gets so loud. Like I've got my baby in the carrier and like the streetcar goes past. I'm like, how does anybody live like this? Like
Yes.
I can't handle this anymore. And so the 3 of us decided we were going to move out to the country.
Okay.
So we're so arrogant. Like we're late 20s. We're just arrogant as hell. And we skip out of Toronto to a small town east of the city, and we're like throwing bills around. Like, look how much we can afford here.
Yes.
And we buy this beautiful house. It's like a 7-bedroom house.
Wow.
It's like half acre of land. You can see Lake Ontario. It's like, it's picturesque.
Yes.
And I'd always wanted a big family. So like miracle of miracles, my eldest was only, I think, 13 months and I got pregnant with twins.
Oh,
So all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, okay, so this is happening.
okay.
So within a few months, maybe within a 5-month period, I had, and this is where like I know you will relate as an overachiever.
Yes.
Within a 5-month period, I'd like stopped being a Torontonian.
Yes.
I had 3 kids under the age of 2. I turned 30 and I bought a minivan.
Oh my goodness.
So that's like for an identity
That's
crisis.
totally what you do. Yes. Yes.
That's identity crisis number one, let's say.
Exactly.
And so fast forward, we renovate this house and it was like stunning. And there was just this sense, like this constant sense that something was missing.
Oh.
And as you do, you ignore it, right? And you shove it down, you don't talk about it. And it's like, no, I obviously, oh, hi, it's me. I'm the problem. Yeah. And so I let it go. And then one day I'm like lying on the floor with my 3 beautiful baby girls. And I'm looking at my perfect kitchen, like with Carrara marble, exposed brick, like our perfect kitchen, our perfect house. My husband at the time, great looking guy, like everything is perfect on paper. And I remember thinking like, what the hell is wrong with me? And getting this like very sobering moment that if this isn't enough for me, like, what am I going to do?
Right.
And I got that, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but like that intuitive nudge, I would call it a lightning bolt.
Yes.
Also would call it like the voice of God, but that makes people uncomfortable sometimes.
Exactly. No.
Whatever you call it.
Yep.
I got it.
Right.
And there was a voice that appeared and was like, oh, nothing will be enough for you until you are enough for you.
Oh, hello.
And I stopped dead in my tracks and literally was like, hello.
Who's that?
Could we repeat? And the voice was like, nothing will be enough for you until you are enough for you. And so suddenly I realized that I had been fighting all these demons. I'd had a really abusive childhood. I never had acknowledged it or accepted or certainly not dealt with it. And I had just been like chasing a feeling of family and I was looking in all the wrong places to get it done. Anyway, so that moment was, dare I say, pivotal because all of a sudden I knew that like I had to become enough for me and the environment in which I was living would never foster or support that. So I had to take the necessary steps. And I remember having like an entire journal full of things that I'd tried. Like, and we had this conversation, we went to this therapist and we had this vacation, like all of these things. And I remember vividly closing the chapter. Like I closed the book and I was like, okay, well, I can officially say I've done everything possible. And the only thing left is that either he has to radically change his personality or I have to radically change mine. And neither is healthy nor realistic.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And so I knew that I had to end. I had to end it. And as I say, like I called time of death on the marriage because it had been dead for a while.
Yes.
And I was the person to like, look up in the OR and be like, we're going to call it right now.
We're going to call it.
Yeah.
Okay. And so was there an acknowledgement of where you were both at?
No, it was hard.
Yes.
It was really, really hard. I don't know if this is a guy thing. Like, listen, I know the stats that are 2/3 of marriages are actually ended by women. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, now being in my mid-40s, I'm like, that sounds low.
Yeah.
But the narrative is that men leave marriages.
Yes. Okay.
And the reality is that women leave marriages.
Okay.
Because I think a whole lot of reasons.
Yes.
But women leave marriages.
Okay.
And the stereotype that goes along with that is that often, not all, but often men are like, what? I had no idea. And that was definitely the case for me. It was like, we had no idea, even despite years and years and years of talking about it. And he was really shocked. So it didn't end well, I would say.
No.
And it didn't end well. And because it didn't end well, like I really had this very glossy vision that we were gonna be able to cohabitate. Yeah. We'd divide the house into apartments or we would nest. Like I had this huge.
There would be something. Yeah.
Do you know Brandy Weekly in Toronto?
No. She's
a writer. She's had her own podcast as well, but she was in The Star many years ago because she and her husband did that. They bought a house next door to one another.
Okay.
And the kids just went back and forth
Yeah.
seamlessly. And I was like,
Okay,
we can
so
do
we
this.
could totally
Precedent
do
is
that.
totally set.
Yeah.
Didn't work out that way.
No.
And so what I had to do was let go of not only the dream of having this like ever after story,
This idyllic life.
totally, then let go of the B-list celebrity vision of having like, the alternative perfect life,
Yes.
and really focus on making my life and subsequently my girls' lives just incredible.
Right.
And that is why this was such a big pivot, because it was like
Yes.
a total renaissance in how I saw myself and how I related not only to myself, but to, I think, adulthood in general.
Right. How old were you at that time?
34.
Okay. And your girls were
Little.
little.
I think they were 4, 4, and 6, but they might have been 3, 3, and 5.
Okay. Okay. And so what was their reaction? I mean, they were young.
Yeah.
Bless, thank goodness.
Yeah. And I think they were neutral, because
Okay.
the way that I framed it, like my first iteration of a career out of school was a Montessori teacher.
Okay.
So I had a ton of experience
Yes.
with little ones and like
Yes.
child developmental psychology. So that was
Right.
like really working in my
Right.
favor.
Right.
And I remember saying to them, like, we are a family. Who's in our family? And like going
Yes.
over all the people in our family, like totally. Nothing changes,
Right.
except that now in our family, you're going to have 2 different houses.
Yes.
So, like part of your family is over here, part of your family is over there.
Yes.
And they were just like, okay.
Okay, sure.
And, I really involved them every step of the way as it was, and as age appropriate as it could be.
Yes.
But when I was looking for apartments,
Right.
they would come with me.
Okay.
And so we would go and be like, okay, so what do we think about this? And they were little, but
Yeah.
very
but still.
mature. But it was like, whose room could this be?
Right.
And, would the couch look good over here?
Makes
and
it a bit more exciting. It's an
Totally.
adventure.
Absolutely.
Get
And
it.
they were part of the process the
Yes.
whole way through. And so I am very proud of myself that, like, I think that kind of softened the blow.
Yes.
That although adult-wise, it didn't really go as well as I had hoped, adult child-wise, it was amazing.
Yes.
Because I made it a little adventure for them.
Right. Okay. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So after the divorce,
Yeah.
now you find this place to live.
Yeah.
It's you
Mhm.
and 3 beautiful young
Yes.
girls. Are you still in the small town?
Yes.
Okay. So what are you doing for work, and how are you managing that in single parenthood and everything that comes
So
with?
work ended up, okay, I'm just trying to get all the details and the stories in place. I had been a stay-at-home mom. So
Okay.
I went from being a Montessori teacher to being
Yes.
completely financially dependent on somebody else.
Ouch.
Yep.
Ouch. Okay.
And so when I say the divorce did not go well, it's really framed around the conversation where this man was standing across from me in our shared office and said, you're going to have to get a job now, right? I was like, thanks, Tips. Like,
Awesome
thanks.
sauce. Yeah.
And he followed it up with, the least you can do is get a job at Tim Hortons. So somebody that you've known for 14 years, that was said in a
Great.
that was a purposeful thing, the way he said
Thanks
it too.
so much for
And it's
that.
like, no disrespect to anybody who works at Tim Hortons, but the way that it was
Yes.
intended was
Yes,
mean.
exactly. Cutting.
And so I went from being a stay-at-home mom to needing a job and being totally financially independent and responsible overnight. And fortunately, so we found an apartment, but it was actually a little house. It was like a little
Okay.
cottage.
Oh, sweet.
And we made it really sweet.
Yes.
And I ended up getting a freelance social marketing gig.
Oh.
So I was working as a subcontractor
Okay.
for Canada's largest online parenting magazine, and
Nice.
I ran all the social media for that.
Okay.
At the same time, I was going through my own like awakening.
Yes.
So I was blogging about it on Instagram.
Yeah, you were.
as you do if you're a millennial. And from there, people started reaching out and being like, "Hey, would you ever consider coaching me?"
Wow.
Yeah. And so I developed this at the time, it was very much a side hustle. Like I had a
Yes.
few clients, but I obviously took the clients seriously, but the business was not really a business. It was like supplemental income.
Yes.
we ended up finding a house just around the corner that was for sale. We bought it. I renovated it. It became this like, how did it get described? If Gloria Steinem and Domino Magazine had a love child, it would be my house. There's like pink and gold wallpaper everywhere. Like it was so beautiful. And it was so whimsical.
good.
We got featured in like Apartment Therapy and Design Mom and like HGTV. And, things are going great. Really great. The freelance thing is going great. I've got a couple of clients on the side. It's going great. All of a sudden I get a breast cancer diagnosis.
Jeez.
So then we went through this like whole year's worth of experience with like surgery and hair loss and treatment, et cetera. And again, being an elder millennial.
Yes.
Really wrote about the whole thing, wrote my first book while I was in chemo treatments.
Right.
And I really think that being so honest, being so authentic, being so genuine, I think it like upped my street cred.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden I had more people coming to me for coaching.
Right.
Which was great because that brings us to February 2020. And in February 2020, the woman who ran this like national publication, blah, 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 fired everybody overnight.
Right.
And it's February 2020. And so like we didn't yet know what March 2020
Yeah, we didn't know what was coming a month later.
But all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, like I just lost all of my income. I've just finished a year of cancer. Like this coaching has to now really work. Like it has to work. And it did. Like it took off. Particularly because March was around the corner. And all of a sudden people were at home. They were having identity crises all over the place. And I had already had like so much publicly lived experience that again, I think people really came to me as an expert.
Okay. So how did you do the work on yourself? What was the statement that you said?
Nothing will be enough for you until you are enough for you.
Okay. So how do you do that work? What does that look like? How do you figure it out?
It's very expensive.
Very expensively. You cut a check.
You got many checks. This is what my first book is about. It was like I called it a self-love manifesto because I read, and this is, how many years ago? 10, 11 years ago. Maybe not that long, but self-love people were talking about, but there was lots of information on like, oh, all you have to do is love yourself. But literally no one.
But nobody's telling you how.
So I'm like, so how do you do that?
Right.
Because I think I kind of loathe myself. Like I hate myself. And
like, do you just smile at yourself more often?
Exactly.
Like,
but kind of.
Yeah.
So the first thing for me, I remember I would do this, like, it's so cringy at the beginning, but it's mirror work. And you would start to look at yourself in the mirror and talk to yourself as if you were speaking to, in my case, my daughters, or like, people do a lot of inner child work. You can treat yourself as if you're talking to your 6-year-old self, and you start to be that really strong, stable, kind, loving adult presence that maybe you didn't have.
Yes.
So you really start with self-kindness and self-appreciation.
Okay.
From there, I think the trajectory was you just start to do the things that you love to do. So I remember thinking, the girls would live with me full time now, but at the time we had shared custody. So I remember they were at their dad's for a weekend and I was really feeling down and I was like, oh, I wish I had somebody. Yeah. And I just wish I could go on a date with somebody right now. And again, this voice, puts down the cigarette and the gin martini and is like, okay, I'm here. you rang. And so the voice comes up and they're like, all right, like, what would you do? Yeah. So I'm like looking around my room and I was like, well, I think I would go for a drive to Prince Edward County. And the voice is like, great. And what would you do there? I was like, I would go to the Drake for brunch. Yeah. And I would stop at every farm stand and every antique store and I'd get coffee and I'd wear this cute little outfit. And the voice was like, okay, like,
off you go.
Let's go.
Pitter patter.
That sounds so obvious to me now, but at the time it felt like revolutionary.
Yeah.
That I would do something that I wanted to do.
Yes.
I didn't have to ask anybody else's permission. I didn't have to cajole anybody else to going, or I didn't have to worry about them not having fun. And then I would have to emotionally manage the entire experience. Yeah. And that was such a turning point. Yeah. I started traveling on my own because I'd had, all my travel experiences were with somebody else. And I was like, well, this sucks. Because now every time I think about traveling, I think about an ex. Yes. And so I did a road trip to Detroit to Elkhorn, Wisconsin to go to this creative retreat.
So
like
good.
I just Vermont, like I just started doing the things that I really, really, really wanted to do.
Okay.
So now you've got this double header of you're speaking to yourself with kindness and tenderness.
Yes.
And like imagining that you're actually speaking to that child version of you and really focusing on the things that you love doing, not because they have a purpose or because they're monetizable or you're going to get anything out of it, quote unquote, just because it actually feels really good and brings a lot of joy.
Right. And it literally fills your cup.
Yes. And I became a totally different person. I maybe the triple, like the third thing in that trifecta would be I started paying a lot of attention to how I felt when I was with certain people. And I realized that I was basically spending most of my time with people that I hated.
Yeah.
Which we all do.
It's so insane when you do that. I hear you. I get it.
It's like, I hate
It's
this
so
woman, but we've been
common.
friends for 40 years. So how
Yeah.
could, like, cut it.
Got it.
And so I really started paying attention that when I was
Yes.
leaving social gatherings, I was like, I would just feel so low or anxious or, you just feel so dead. Like you want to,
Yeah.
you're just tired versus the times or locations, people I was spending time with that I felt like elated
Yeah.
and like I was floating home.
Right.
It was like, okay, more of that, less
More
of the
that.
former.
Yes. It's hard to do though. It's a little bit like being surgical.
Yeah.
And but once you start noticing, to me it's always the drive home.
I know.
And the drive home is like, that was great, or whew, that goodness,
Never
that's
doing that
over.
again. I know.
Gosh, if I don't have to do that again, that would be
I
great.
know.
And I think, yeah, but then, a few weeks later, I'm doing it again.
Yeah.
Why? Why do we keep doing it to ourselves? Yeah.
And all of that, and I did a lot of therapy and I did a lot
Yes.
of coaching. Like
Yes.
that's where it got really expensive. That plus the traveling
Yes.
got really expensive. But really what that is it's no longer self-abandoning because I think that's at the heart of it. So many of us get into marriages in which we choose somebody else's happiness or somebody
Yes.
else's priorities, even trying to prioritize the vision that I was so committed to, like prioritizing that over my real feelings. We really just start to self-abandon.
Right.
And those three things that I mentioned, you are ending self-abandonment.
Yes.
And you're coming back home to who you are. And you're really honoring and appreciating the person that you uniquely are. And that's the real pivot. It's like, oh my God, not only do I love myself, but I really like myself. And I enjoy my own company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so while you're doing all this work on yourself, what were the girls' reaction? Like they must have been like, it's they're growing up now with a different mom.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're amazing. We've always been really close.
Yes.
Divorce made us closer, but they were little,
Yes.
so that's maybe not a fair thing to say. Breast cancer and the subsequent treatment made us really close.
Yes.
And they were really involved with that too. So like,
Okay.
I wrote about this in the book as well, but you have so many scary meds and they have like terrifying names that nobody can pronounce. So you're very like removed from your own care. And so I had the girls do things like label them with rainbow or heart or diamond stickers. And then they made me a chart. So I knew that if I was heading to a treatment, I need to pop like 2 rainbows and a shooting star. And if after treatment I was feeling sick, it was like, no worries, just take a couple of comets and you'll be good.
Oh my goodness.
So they were
that's
really involved with
brilliant.
things like that. You know, we had a head shaving party that I invited all their friends. Their teachers came. We made their favorite snacks.
Right.
So that even if it went terribly wrong, and now they have this bald mother, they would still have this memory of like, oh no, our friends were there and we had this party.
Yes.
So I was really, really intentional about things like
Right.
that. So that really strengthened our relationship. But it's so interesting because as like we all continue to evolve,
Yes.
the girls are incredibly independent. They're like confident young women. They're really engaged. And I know, how do I even say this? They've been they've had such a front row seat or borne such witness that I think they're just kind of cheering me on.
Yes.
But I don't want it to sound like it's all about me and our family. Like it's not all about me and our family. It is definitely just, it's a growth experience. I think I'm setting a really good example for them.
Yes. I
to
agree.
like get out when it doesn't work for you. Girls don't usually hear that you're allowed to change your mind, you know?
Yeah.
And I think the leading by example with like, you're allowed to try, you're allowed to quote unquote fail, you're allowed to make a mistake, and you're allowed to try again.
Yes.
I think that is the example that I have set.
You
and I
definitely have.
Thank you. And I think that their reaction is like unconscious, but
Right.
they're watching it in real time happen.
Right.
That applies to them too.
And now that's normalized.
Yeah, totally.
That's how life is.
Totally.
And that's how life should be. And that's how they can now conduct themselves.
Absolutely. They've seen what it's like to take a risk.
Yes.
They've seen what it's like to work out. They've seen what it's like to not work out. And I think that, any entrepreneur is like, that's pretty valuable experience to learn at an early age.
Exactly.
And so I think that's a big part of it too.
Okay. That's fantastic. And so we're in March of 2020. Coaching starts to take off. Okay. And part of it is when you were blogging and it's through lived experience, how do you then help others in a way that's not like, well, here's what I did.
I know.
And this totally worked for me. So
Therefore,
check the box. It should totally work for you.
Yeah.
Because not everyone's high achievers like you. So
the people who work with me are.
Okay.
Like, I think they're just drawn.
They're drawn to you.
And if they don't have that quality, then I was not the right person to help them. That's for sure. But because those kind of people were coming to me, we spoke the same language.
Okay.
Right. And it's like that. One of my greatest skills as a coach is that I listen to what you're saying, but I also listen to what you're not saying.
Yes.
And so you can really start to like, it's interesting that you answered that way. So why don't you tell me a little bit more about this? I also, I'm a lifelong learner, lifelong teacher.
Yes.
I love learning and sharing.
Okay.
And so I also just kept getting credential after credential. So I kept doing more and more coaching certifications.
Yes.
I got an executive coaching certification, organizational development.
Right.
I really intuitively understand how people work and think. I've had enough trauma and adversity in my life that I also really understand resilience at like a visceral level.
Right.
And so I have it's like double whammy of school, but also lived experience that I don't superimpose my own experience onto somebody, but I do have all of the skills to listen to what they're saying and help them check in with themselves for what is the right next thing.
Right, right. Your most recent book is called Courage.
Yes, the Courage Code.
Exactly. And in there, you share a lot of your personal stories, which I think it's not just a textbook. It's not just a guide. It's very personal. There is coaching in there. There is, it's easy to follow. But what I really loved about it was the fact that you were all over it. So it wasn't just, here's what you can do, and this is a theory. It's, oh no, here's how I lived it, good or bad, right? That it wasn't all sunshine and roses or rainbows and comets, right?
Or shooting stars.
And so that's why I really appreciated that book, and I thought it was so well done. Thank you. It's you. Having gone through a couple of your sessions with coaching, it's the same thing. What I did notice is that your reframing of how people talk, what they say, and as you say, what they don't say, there was so many aha moments. People are like, huh? How did she come up with that? It's a talent.
Thank you.
So you need to keep doing what you're doing because you really are making a difference. I think it's very important. And particularly for high achievers, I think, because I consider myself part of the high achiever, and part of the journey that I continue to be on is the idea that it's actually okay for me to put myself first, and that I need to be kinder to myself, because the little voice inside my head, I wouldn't allow them to say that to my kids. Yeah. And yet it seems fine that I'm allowed to say it to myself. And it's a journey. Yeah, it is. It's a bit of a work. But as a high achiever, I can see why working with somebody like you would be so good, because we need some help.
Well, thank you. And one of my one of my specialties
Yes.
is not only getting people out of their own way, but really being able to take something that's incredibly complex and make it very simple.
Okay. Yes.
I'm Dutch, I'm a Taurus, I've got a little neurodivergence happening. And so all those three things are like, oh, we love practicality.
Okay.
And so I love taking things from this, like I always, you never, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
It's not possible. And like really breaking it down to get a sense of what is actually the story that's at play. And that's a huge, it's hugely impactful for people.
Yes. It's a huge unlock.
Usually I find in the personal development space, you know, people are like, oh, just change your mindset and it'll be fine. Not true. Like that's not how the nervous system works.
No.
So all of our actions and behaviors are directly linked to our thoughts and what we say to ourselves. But our thoughts are actually inextricably linked from our unconscious beliefs.
Yes.
So if you only try to change the behavior, you're screwed. If you only try to change your mindset, you're screwed. Like you're not actually doing what it takes. So having somebody who's there, who's like challenging you or like really reframing or like kind of pointing out, oh, I noticed you said it in this way.
Yes.
Why would that be? Like, what are you making that mean? Suddenly starts to tap into the unconscious of like, what do I actually believe about myself? Or what do I believe about this situation or money or career or worthiness or success, whatever.
Okay.
And once we start to tap into what you really truly believe,
Yes.
then we can start to change your thoughts about it. And then your behavior can start to change, not the other way.
Not the other way around. Really interesting. Yeah. So now, as you've gone through your pivotal moment, because we didn't talk about the cancer, and that's fine. Let's leave that one.
We got the highlight reel.
We got the highlight reel. We probably don't need to dive too deep into that. But first of all, on that, how's your health?
Great.
You're great.
Oh, yeah.
You're like literally beaming. It's quite amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, so health is good. So what are you doing now? You're on stages. You're an acclaimed author.
Yes.
Check, check, check. What else are you up to?
Well, I'm going to give you like the official version.
Okay.
Now I help thought leaders turn their expertise into stages and pages.
I love that.
Which is a fancy way of saying like now I'm taking all of that like coaching, executive coaching, public speaking to an award-winning degree, best-selling author, and helping others structure their signature keynote, write their keynote, structure their book, and really like take this idea and this expertise and get it out into a scalable, sellable asset. So it's got a lot of opportunity for ghostwriting, but really it's taking your expertise and turning it into your own signature book and talk.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
You'll be absolutely brilliant at that.
Thank you.
Good for you.
It's really fun.
I bet.
And I get to work with incredible people who've had like nothing but their own life experience and expertise, who then need a different way of sharing it. So right now, one of my clients is the former chief pharmacy officer of Ontario.
Okay.
One of Canada's top 100 women. She's incredible.
Yes.
And she's ready to stop. Like she's stopped working in corporate and now she's leaning out into the thought leadership space. And so we've been working on her first big, like 5-figure keynote for a huge pharmaceutical conference.
So good.
And it's amazing. You're like helping people birth this idea into something that you know she's just going to get up there and shine.
Yes.
It tells an incredibly compelling story. It involves the audience. It's like, it doesn't feel like work. It's really fun.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love it. Okay. And so that's the work side of things. Your girls are great.
Yes.
They're thriving. You're happy in life.
Yes.
Okay. And you're still in a small town.
Yes. Yes.
You never came back to the big city.
And that was a technicality of divorce that we had a geography clause.
Get it. Okay.
So
yeah.
that is what it is.
It is what it is.
We're counting down.
Exactly. Okay.
But I also I'm very diligent about taking my girls. Like we go to Toronto a lot.
Yeah.
We go to New York pretty regularly.
Good.
Like
they've
leaving. Tried all the foods. They've seen all the plays and musicals. They've got the culture that we can't get at home.
Yeah, exactly. So as you look back on this huge pivot in your life with other pivots in between as well, what have you learned about yourself to the point that you don't find yourself lying on the floor, staring up, and there's a voice that says, hello, you need to listen.
Yeah.
What have you learned about about yourself and about how you avoid that?
One, I think I really believe in and trust myself. And I have learned over and over again that when I bet on myself, I win. I may not win immediately.
Right.
And I may not win like the 10x reward that I was really, really gunning for.
Yes.
But I always win when I trust myself.
Okay.
And two, it always passes. You know, and I think that's the gift of getting older, that you just have more data points to look at. But just when you think like, no, this is it, this is going to be the thing I never recover, you recover from it.
Right.
And I'm really, really, like, I hate how I had to learn so many lessons to get to that level of resilience, but I love being a resilient person as the outcome.
Exactly. That's amazing. So my last question for you is this. What would be the words of wisdom that you have for the audience today?
I'm trying to think of how to say it in a really succinct way. You already have everything that you need.
Okay.
I find that, you know, through being a mom, through being a coach, through being like all the roles that I've played, it all comes down to what feels like mothering, where you really, truly just try to bring out the best qualities in that person. And the best qualities are the qualities we already naturally possess.
Right.
And so when you can kind of detach from all the other noise and the shoulds and the expectations and the visions and the like, well, I was supposed to be like this. And you really get clear on like, you already have everything you need. All you have to do is listen to it and then trust it enough to follow through. And you're truly winning. That is so simple and it's so ridiculously complicated.
Yes.
It's so hard, but it's also like, it works.
It works. And you now fully trust yourself.
I do.
You trust yourself with your intuition, your instincts. You listen to yourself.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's not negotiable. Like now it's just who I am and the way that I was, which is funny because I was just so insecure before and like that's not even on my radar.
No.
But I've really learned to like stop self-abandoning and really tune into what I need. Even if what I need is to make a very difficult decision or take a very difficult action. When I know it's right, I know it's right.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, we should all hope to get to that point.
I mean, it sucks, but
no, I get it. I totally get it. There are moments, right? Where you're like, why am I so good at this?
I hate this.
This is not great.
But yes.
That's fantastic.
Thank
you. Well, we should all learn a lot from you
you.
And the work that you've done because like you're beaming. I mean, I know I've said that before, but it's amazing.
Thank you.
To see where you are and how you're doing. And you are literally thriving. And it wasn't always that way.
No.
And so leaning into yourself, doing all the hard work is made a huge difference, obviously in your life, but the ripple effect to not only your girls, but the community around you.
Yes.
And seeing the work that you have been doing, that you are now doing. I've watched the audience, one, because I've been part of the audience, but I've watched the audience react to you. And you have this energy and this presence that is palpable.
Thank you.
And I'm so grateful that you came and shared your story with us today.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. So good. Thank you.
Thank you. I just feel so good about myself right now. Thank you.
Well, thanks. Thanks for joining me today. Leisse's story hits so close to home, as it is the tough work that so many of us have had to face. I truly appreciate her energy and vulnerability in telling her story. If this story resonated with you, please share it with someone you care about, and be sure to subscribe so you can continue to hear more pivotal stories involving one question, one turning point, one powerful story. I'll see you next week with another guest on the Leslie Hawkins podcast.